Hello, I'm Kevin McCarthy from Campus Catering, and I'm here to tell you about how I can improve your food service quality today.
The first stage, the preliminary stage, is our first contact with the buyer. So this is the stage where we will ask questions to get to know the buyer and his business structure in order to build a relationship that will allow us to continue the sale and dig deeper into finding needs later in our sales call. Let's take a look at how this seller handles the situation.
Your students are disgruntled with the food service they get here, and I'm here to give you the solution you need to fix your problem.
How do you know my students are disgruntled, and what are they disgruntled with?
Well, recent campus surveys have concluded that your students are dissatisfied with the quality of food and the choices available to them at dining halls on campus. Yes, the prices would increase, but we believe that the gain in happiness from your students with our meal plans will offset that.
I don't think we're able to increase our meal plan prices as of right now, because if we did increase the prices, I think our tuition would go up even more.
This is how not to start off the preliminary stage. The seller in this instance tried to start off with an opening benefit statement to wow the buyer and draw him in with a catchy first impression. Instead, it caused the buyer to go on high alert first, and before the buyer could even recognize his needs for a new meal plan, they were discussing an increase in price, which made the buyer turn away from the deal before he could see any of the real benefits. This approach caused the buyer and seller to jump into the deal before any questions could be asked and needs generated by the seller. Let's try that again, but this time let's use spin selling.
Hello, I'm Kevin McCarthy from Campus Catering. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to speak with me. I've come here to discuss with you your current meal plans and the options available to you with my company.
Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. Our current meal plans are processed by Aramark Food Company, in which they provide the food service for all on-campus dining options.
Do you make the purchasing decisions for which food service company you use?
Yes, I make contracts with all the food service companies that provide our dining halls with food.
And when does your current contract expire?
Our current contract with Aramark Food expires in 2016.
Do you think that your dining hall needs will grow in the next 5 years?
Yes, I believe our capacity in the dining hall will grow with the expansion of Clemson's campus by 10% in the next year.
So this 10% increase in dining hall capacity will cause your food service to have to expand and handle a more heavy workload. Do you think Aramark Food Service can handle this capacity?
Well, Aramark Food already has a small selection, and increasing capacity will cause them to be even more strained in our dining halls.
In this scenario, the buyer doesn't try and use a creative ploy to gain the seller's attention. Instead, he states what the purpose of his call is and gets right down to business. This technique doesn't waste the buyer's time and allows them to avoid the typical small talk that can at times bog down typical sales calls. The buyer then uses situation questions to learn more about the buyer and his purchasing power. And also he learns about the current supplier and the future situation of the company. Stage 2 is problem questions, the investigation stage. This section of questions consists of the seller probing the buyer to reveal issues with their current situation. The seller is searching to find what the buyer is frustrated or dissatisfied with in the buyer's workplace. These problems are issues that the seller can provide solutions to.
Are you saving money with your current dining hall plans?
Yes, our current plan with Aramark Food Service is allowing us to save money.
And do you like the dining hall food?
I believe that our dining hall food is sufficient for a college campus dining hall.
What's your favorite food served at the dining halls?
My favorite thing to eat at the dining hall would be the pizza.
These questions are poor questions because they don't allow the customer to dig deeper or communicate their needs to the seller. Little information was uncovered. Another issue is that not enough questions were asked. The more questions the seller asks the buyer, the higher the probability a sale will occur. Let's try this one more time. And this time we'll use spin selling.
What percentage of the students and faculty here have a meal plan?
About 45% of our students and faculty have a meal plan.
And how do the students view the food and atmosphere at the dining halls?
I believe our students feel that there could be more selection in our dining halls and better dining hall times, but I think they think it's sufficient.
I see. And how much variety do you think you have within a 1 week span for lunch and dinner?
I think our lunch and dinners stay pretty consistent throughout the week with pretty consistent palette of food.
Has your current dining hall food service received any rewards or been recognized?
No, they have not.
When students finish their plates, do you think there's a large amount of food remaining on them, or did they finish them completely?
I feel like most of our students end up getting a lot of plates and try a lot of different things throughout their meals. So sometimes, yes, there can be a lot of food left on the plates.
So if you had to pick one thing to change about your current dining hall meals, what would it be?
I would like to change our selection. I'd like to give our students more options as they go into the dining halls.
It's also true that the freshman class are most likely to buy a meal plan. Do you think that a wide variety of fresher, healthier meal plan options would help eliminate the freshman 15, or at least decrease the chances of students getting that?
Yes, I feel like if in the dining halls we had some more options of besides salad or sandwich bars that allowed the healthier options for our students, we could decrease the freshman 15 phenomenon.
That went much better. More questions were asked this time around. This allowed the buyer to disclose a greater amount of information to a problem they might not have even seen as a big issue. The needs of the buyer were much easier to uncover by simply asking more, deeper questions. Not only does it bring issues of the buyer to the surface, but it gives the seller a large amount of information to work with in the following stage. Now that we know who the buyer is and what their needs are, we must show them how our product will fill these needs. This is the third stage of spin selling, demonstrating capability. In this stage, we ask pointed implication questions, which help demonstrate the consequences of no action being taken.
Do you think that our meal plan is better than your current one?
I can see that your meal plan has a lot of benefits, but I don't know with the price if it is better for us right now.
Well, I mean, our food is better tasting and we have a greater variety than your meal plan. Why wouldn't you switch over?
Price is a very thing we have to worry about, because if we switch over to y'all, we have to increase all of our meal plans for students, which they're already a hefty price for them.
And what would happen if you chose to keep Aramark as your food provider?
We could keep our prices the same, and we would keep the same quality of food service that our students already have.
Whoa, hold up there. This seller is being far too direct in this scenario. The idea behind spin selling is not to push the product upon the buyer. Instead, we've got to show the buyer what problems they have with their current service and then lead them to the conclusion that your product is the solution to these problems. Alright, so let's see this with some spin selling.
Do you believe that the quality of food makes an impact on a potential student's choice of university?
I think it can. I feel like the current students and former students talk to incoming freshmen and other kids about the food options available at the school, and that does impact their decision.
And do you think that an increase in the variety of food served would attract a wider variety of students?
I feel like it can. I feel like when you have a great dining hall, that's something that's well known, and you can hear that a lot from a lot of students, and on tours that would greatly impact students that are coming in.
That's much better. As you can see, the seller used implication questions to make the buyer start thinking about the consequences of not switching plans. So we've done some digging and we know what our buyer needs. We're in stage 4, securing a commitment. It's time for the needs payoff questions. How do we show them that we've got what they need?
Do you think that the quality of food impacts a student's perception of Clemson University as a whole?
Yes, I feel like the quality of food makes a great impact on the way that people view Clemson University.
If you chose to switch to campus catering, you would attract more students to apply and enroll in Clemson University. We're an environmentally friendly, healthy, sustainable, and renowned catering company. College students across the world hear about how good the food at UGA, one of the colleges we serve, is. Don't you want to be like UGA?
We do not want to be like UGA. We are better than UGA.
I mean, here's our solution to your problem, though. You have low meal plan retention rates. Use us and we'll double it. Students complain about lack of variety. Our menu is 3 times the size of Aramark's. Your dining halls are not equipped to be sustainable or eco-friendly.
While you can do that for us, I do feel like that the price that we would have to pay for that to happen would increase our students' meal plans by an astronomical amount that I don't think we are prepared to do right now.
I mean, Aramark may be cheaper, I'll give you that, but we do have much higher quality food.
I believe that your food is higher quality, but a price is the thing that we have to worry about right now for our students.
Don't cheap out on me here. The food will be way better. What do you say? Do we have a deal?
Stop! This is the most important part of the sale, and he's botching it. Salespeople need to make less statements and instead ask more questions. What we just saw was a classic example of the salesperson talking too much, not allowing for the buyer to take any ownership in the solution. Not to mention how he posed the questions in an arrogant way, putting the buyer on the defensive. Let's take a look at this scene again, but let's do it with spin selling.
If you could decrease the number of unhappy students waiting in line for food or walking right out of the dining hall because of so few options, how many additional students do you think you could get to sign up for the meal plans?
I feel like with a wider range of options available in the dining hall, we can increase our availability of meal plans and the amount of students on meal plans by 10 to 15%.
Now, could the high quality, healthy food that we're suggesting also reduce waste, as more students would eat all of the food on their plates instead of returning half full plates?
Yes, I feel like if we have better food available, students won't have to go back numerous times to certain places in the dining hall to be able to get a full meal. They can get one meal at one stop, which will be cut out waste and allow students to get more in one stop.
Would you receive positive recognition from your management by changing to a catering company that is also environmentally friendly?
Yes, I feel like it would be great for our university as we try to recycle and do other things and start that green initiative to be able to also do that in our dining halls.
And what would a renowned company like Campus Catering enable you to do that you cannot currently do with Aramark?
Campus Catering would allow us to show off our dining halls to all students, and it would allow us to show that we are trying to make a great effort to give our students the best opportunity available for them at Clemson.
You think that the Clemson family deserves to be treated like a family and have access to delicious home-cooked meals?
I think we have a deal, Mr. McCarthy.
Now that's how it's done, folks. Remember, in spin selling, there's 4 stages and 4 question types: situation, problem, implication, needs, payoff. When you're in a selling situation, keep these tips in mind and you too can help your potential customers get what they need.